Hello and welcome to the video for interactive design for Tuesday, September 15th. Here we go. Let the participants in from the waiting room. Hello. How are you guys doing today?
Very good.
Hi. You guys doing okay today?
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take roll here as you guys are jumping in. Okay. And see, we got some chats here. Trevor says, pretty good. How about you? Good. Okay. All right. I know Grady's not going to be able to be here today because he's got something going on. Uh, but let me go ahead and bring up the class website, and so we can look at some of the stuff that we're going to do today. So, dreamcode.com, and let's see, interactive design. Okay. So it looks like I know that Spike and Amelia both have presentations, and Grady had one, but he's, like I said, he's not going to be here today. So, uh, Spike and Amelia, do you guys? Let's see, Spike's not here yet. So, Amelia, do you have your presentation ready?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And how did you want to give that? Do you want to share your screen or?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping that people would be able to open it so that they can click on the links.
Oh, I see. So, let's see. You want? Is it in a folder that you shared with me?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Okay. So the dar252. Uh, hmm. dar252.
Or
Uh,
I think I I think I shared it with you.
oh yeah, I found it.
Okay.
Okay. So I see this folder. It says previous and then Amelia logo add.fla. Um, Now, did you try to put it in that folder?
1 second. Let me redo this.
All right. Spike, did you manage to finish your presentation?
No, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
still working on it. Okay, that's fine.
Let me just move it real quick.
Okay. All right. Okay, I see it. Let me see if I can open it. Uh, yeah, I got it open. Do you want me to share my screen and you can talk about it and I can move forward to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and okay, and then I'm gonna click present. Okay, and then just tell me when to go to the next slide. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so my presentation is on the history of banner ads. So we can go to the first slide. So what is a banner ad? A banner ad is a small advertisement on a web page. They can come in many different sizes, and we probably see them every day. The goals of a banner ad are to increase the customer traffic, sell a product, grab the customer's attention, and announce a sale or discount. They started off as a long rectangle at the top of a web page, similar to like a banner ad in a newspaper. The most popular size is the medium rectangle. It's 300 by 250 pixels. And that one is on both desktop and mobile. And ads have shifted to include mobile sizes. And I think right now, mobile ads are viewed more than desktop ads. So this is a picture of the top three most popular banner ad sizes. So the first one, we have the medium banner, the square, and then yeah, like 40% of impressions, clicks come from the medium banner, and then we have the leaderboard, excuse me, which is the top web page banner, and that's 25% of impressions. And then we have the side banner, which is called the wide skyscraper, and that has 25% of impressions. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the first banner ad ever. This is a picture of what the banner ad looked like. It was in 1994, and it was run by AT&T. They paid $30,000 to run this banner on a popular website for 3 months. This website, Hotwired, was an online magazine version of a print magazine. And that initial ad had a 44% click-through rate, which is really high and unheard of for today. Today, the click-through rates are about 0.06% and 0.08%, so it's a much smaller number. And when you clicked on this, the have you ever clicked your mouse right here, it led users to an early AT&T landing page with a couple options that you could look through. And there was a big design team, and a couple of the employees talked about how they wanted to like reward people through the ad instead of trying to sell something. And then we're ready for the next one. And then yeah, if we could click on this link here, that's a link to the first ad.
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure where my link went.
Oh, I think it's all the way on the right of your tabs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's this old style web page up that they keep information on the first ad on. So if, so you can, I think you should be able to click on that banner ad up there. Yeah, so once you clicked on, this is the first banner ad, it would take you to this page, and it would give you options to click through pieces of an art museum. And then it would bring you to an actual landing page for AT&T. And then the last link was just like a little survey to help improve the site. Yeah, so this was the first banner ad ever in 1994. And now we are ready for the next slide. Okay, so what's next? What comes after the initial banner ad? So in 1995, this is when targeted ad placement started, and that's something we see a lot today. Ad agencies were helping clients to reach their demographics by putting their ads on the right websites and the right websites. And websites themselves were able to show ads that actually related to their website instead of it being totally random. And then banner ad caps, that refers to how many times a user could see an ad before they would have ad fatigue, which means they don't pay attention to it anymore. And then in 96, that's when we had like the first user tracking and demographic tracking. So clients and ad agencies could actually see how many people are clicking on their ad, how long they're staying on there, and how many of the people who looked at the ad actually followed through to look at the product. And then in 1997, the pop-up ad was created, and they were short-lived as an actual ad. People didn't like them and thought they were sketchy, unsurprisingly. And then by the early 2000s, most computers and browsers came with pop-up ad blockers, so they weren't usable as an actual ad anymore. And the pop-up ads also didn't work with the user tracking, so companies and ad agencies weren't able to see if their ads were actually working. And then in 2006, when Facebook started, I think for a while they initially had no ads, and then they opened it up to advertisers. And right now, Facebook has super targeted ads. Like I see them every day for stuff that, I don't know, just really super targeted stuff. And then they also try to make their ads more relevant compared to just seeing random ads that you might not be interested in. And then here is my last slide. This is about native ads. And native ads are what we see today. Native ads are tailored to the look and feel of a website. So they're not supposed to feel like ads. They're supposed to feel like they're part of the website. And good examples of this are like sponsored Instagram posts. So we see these posts here and they look normal, but they're actually advertisements. And then here's an example on Twitter. Here's a tweet that's an advertisement. And then I guess another good example would be like ads that go through on Snapchat or Facebook stories or Instagram stories. Basically any social media post that matches a platform that looks like one of their posts. Yeah, and then I think my next slide is just my references. There were a lot of cool articles on the first ad, and yeah, thank you.
Yay! All right. Nice job. What do you guys think? Did you learn some things about ads? I thought it was really well done. I learned a few things like I didn't know that this medium banner ad was the most popular one, but it makes sense now that I think about it. That's what I see a lot of are those medium banner ads. Um, let's see what they say in the chat. So Latice says she learned a lot and appreciate all the information. And Renee said it was great, and so did Latice. And so yeah, that's really interesting that side banner. I know that these top banners, I think if I were paying for an ad, I probably wouldn't do a top banner right now because of that thing banneritis that I've talked about where people just sort of blank out whatever's at the top of a web page because they think it's an ad. But it's interesting that that the leaderboard and the skyscraper over here both have 25% of the advertising. But this one, yeah, I see this ad all the time, this medium one. And did you say that this one that's the size that also works for mobile?
Yeah, so they work both on desktop and mobile, which is really cool.
Right, which is why, you know, if somebody's doing an ad, that would be the first thing they do because they wouldn't have to redesign it for mobile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. Okay, wow, very interesting stuff. Um, Now this kind of cracked me up. It's like, yeah, they're paying $30,000 for this ad, and then a bunch of designers said, "Well, let's not try and sell anything. If you're going to pay $30,000 for an ad, you better try and sell something." You know what I mean? Ah, that's funny. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice job.
Thank you.
All right. Let me let's see. Let me see if I can get back to how do we close this presentation? Maybe it's just a page. Yeah. Okay, that. All right, cool. Let's see. So let me go back to the website here, peanut.com. Okay. So then, like I said, Grady will be back on Thursday, and he'll probably do his presentation then. And then Spike, you think you might be able to get your presentation ready for Thursday?
Probably.
Okay. Why don't you give that a shot? Use that as a goal and see if you can make it done. Um, okay. So has anybody had a chance to do some more work on their ad, either creating a storyboard or an animatic or a first draft of their ad?
Hey, Greg, I've worked on it, but I haven't posted anything. It's nothing real major.
Okay.
No major changes, just kind of fiddling around in the program.
Okay. So you don't really want us to look at it, or you do?
It's the same stuff. I haven't posted anything new.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Um, let's see. Trevor says about the presentation, great stuff, very informative, and didn't realize pop-up ads are older than me. I have an animatic in my Google Drive folder. Okay, so let's look at Trevor's. Okay, Trevor dar252, and then add animatic. Download that and open it. All right. Okay, control, test movie, and animate. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna have to make this bigger so we can see it a little better, Trevor.
Ooh,
I like the Taco Bell line.
it's awesome.
Yeah. So now the Doom Crew thing, was that one of those actions? What are they called? Let's see.
The motion presets,
Yeah,
or did you do a 3D tool?
yeah. What did you do that with, Trevor? He says the picture quality is crappy, but the idea is there. So what did you use to spin that text around? Was it the 3D tool, or did you use the motion preset? 3D. It's a 3D motion preset. Okay.
Mhm.
So if we go in here to what happened to my motion presets? I think they're up here. Yeah, these are the motion presets. So default presets, and then Spiral 3D. Is that it? Maybe. Yeah. There we go. Spiral 3D. Cool. Well, that's a really good use of it. It definitely grabs your attention. All right. Very nice. Okay, so let's talk about his idea here. So you've got one of your sample T-shirts, And is that the front? It looks like it's the front and the back of the same shirt, right? Um, I got the idea from our candy project and Code Orange. Okay. Um, so so basically the idea is you're flashing the Doom Crew logo, and then you're showing us one of the cool shirts, and it's got stuff on the front and the back, and then presumably there might be a link uh, like at the end of it to like click through to get 10% off a shirt or something like that. Am I in the ballpark, Trevor? Okay. Now let me just ask you guys this question because I'm just kind of wondering this myself. Do you do you like t-shirts with things on the front and the back, or do you like t-shirts with just stuff on the front? Do you have a preference, any of you guys? Nope.
I like both, but I think I don't know, I like them both, but I like the front too. It just depends on what the graphics are, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think I want to say they're both funny, but I want to say that if you want to have something on the front and the back of the t-shirt, it seems like they should be more related to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, he says here, I want to make it two separate shirts. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if it's going to be two separate shirts, then maybe use like different colors on them and stuff like that. And of course, you're just using, I mean, you're just showing us the animatic, which is not a finished product here. Um, yeah, okay. So you're just using basically the same graphic of the guy to give us a mock-up, right? Um, okay. Uh, so I think it's great, and obviously you can get more pictures of more guys and put the different slogans on them so we can see that they're different shirts. Um, Now, do you guys like the idea of the Doom Crew being so big like this, or do you think it should be smaller, or what do you think?
I like it.
You like it?
Hmm.
Okay, because it becomes a big hook, right? The idea is it would become a status symbol, like if you had a Doom Crew shirt, you'd be paying the money for that logo, right?
I like it, and I like the design of the Doom Crew, like the text and how the logo that rotates matches it.
Okay,
So
cool.
I
I have one note.
Yeah.
It would to be just to stay on this picture a little longer before switching to the next one.
That's a good idea.
All right, because there's that rule that you should be able to read something three times before it switches. That's sort of a rule of thumb for when you animate things. Make sure people can read it, or that you can read it three times before you switch, because that way people who read it will be able to see it. Um, Now the other thing, Trevor, about this is because it says Doom Crew at the bottom, it almost makes me feel like whatever's on the top is like a quote that's being said by Doom Crew. Do you know what I mean? Um, so you might consider that like you know uh, the Taco Bell thing on the back is very sarcastic and funny. And like so Doom Crew has a personality by virtue of the fact that the Doom Crew is saying these funny things on the t-shirts. And so um, thanks for coming to my TED Talk's pretty funny too. But it almost seems like you're creating a persona for your company. And if that's the case, then almost it seems like all the shirts would have to be consistent. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, cool. All right, but I think it's looking really good. It's I like what you did with the logo. The way it spins around. I like the way it looks. You got a great start with these pictures and the little T-shirt slogans. So I think you're well on your way. Now, did we abandon the whole fire theme? I might be getting confused with the the fire is. I think you're using that in another class too. But is are we abandoning the fire theme on this? Was that this class where we had the big fire, or was that just like web design? let's see. My idea was initially for the ad, but I felt it might be distracting. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot more clear cut, and I think you've really zeroed in on what's happening here. Um, okay, very cool. All right, let's see. So, anybody else have anything that we can look at?
I send a second draft by email.
Oh, by email? Okay. Email. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. I don't see the email yet. Um, doesn't look like it got caught up in anything. Let's see. This is the correct website. Um, is it possible to also make, do you have a folder that you shared with me that you could put in? Oh, wait, there it is. It just came in. Okay. Okay. Second draft. Okay. Let's check this out. Hold on a second. Let me make this much bigger so it's easier to see. Okay, here we go. Second draft. Okay. What do you guys think?
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. Now, do you guys feel like these texts should be up a little longer, or do you think that they're about the right speed?
They could be a little longer.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if each one was just a little bit longer, uh, like if it was like movie night, and then love, and then sex on the weekends, and then let's dine out, and then shopping, right? So just a little slower for that, and then of course the countless emotions is fine at the speed that it's at, right? Um, yeah, but it looks really good. And are you are you still working on what you're going to put in here? Oh, are you muted?
Yes, I have to finish that part, and also the test. I'm going to do the test a little more bigger.
Of all the little text boxes where people are speaking?
Yes, a
Oh,
little more bigger.
that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it just looks great. Um, now I'm wondering, okay, first month free. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering what the hook was. Now you have some room here. Did you want to put in something like that kind of works off of what you said before, like countless emotions? Um, you know, so
No,
we get all these people saying all these things that they want to do, countless emotions, and then do you think there should be some sort of summary tagline here, like um, you know, fulfill your emotions
Or
online?
feel the emotions,
What's that?
like feel the emotions. I get what you're saying. I understand. Feel the emotions, or I don't know.
Or let's see. Okay, let's see. We see countless emotions.
Can you run the ad again, Greg?
Yeah.
Countless emotions. And then it should be like, boom, download now.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think some ads are like a math equation. It's like 1 + 1 = 2.
Like
So
countless emotions, feel them, download now. Or I don't know, something, I don't
oh
know.
yeah, something like that, like catch the right one for you or something like
Yeah,
that.
or yeah. countless emotion, count them all. I don't know.
Or countdown to your,
Something.
yeah. Um, let's see, countless emotions. Uh,
But would you still feel like she needed that if she brought up download now, like all of that information, if she centered it more, then would it still need a?
no, it doesn't necessarily need anything. I'm just saying that it could be effective. Like,
Maybe something like there are countless emotions, find your infinity.
Ooh,
find your affinity.
infinity.
Infinity as in the never ending amount. Infinity.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then I had one, catch the one that counts or something like that. Like countless emotions, catch the one that counts or catch the one for you or,
Feel yours. Countless emotion. Feel yours. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So, well, regardless, I think Livia gets the idea. So, yeah, once again, it's 1 + 1 = 2. So we have one, which is the the first scene, which is it's a visual representation of the countless emotions, right? Then we actually have the words countless emotions, and then so it's 1 + 1 =, and then this is the sum, which is count your emotion, download your emotions now, or get infinity in a box or something like whatever the tagline,
Okay.
right? Okay, but yeah, it's really great. It looks wonderful.
I love this ad.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Cute.
And it's one of those squares, like that popular format, right? Um, okay. And then Trevor says, "Find your emotion."
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Come on, Trev.
Trevor's done for the day. He
Hold
scored
it
his perfect,
down.
he
Yeah.
scored his perfect 10. So now he can just listen to some jams and page through some magazines. The rest of the class. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to the class website here. Okay, cool. All right. So, anybody else have anything that they want to share with us right now? Okay.
So I didn't add a lot new. I've been working in Illustrator, but I kind of wanted some advice on the timing.
Sure. Um, let's see. 252 right here. Why do I always get this wonky, not the thing? Let's see. Oh, here it is. All right.
Ooh, that's so beautiful.
Okay, now we know that your font's screwed up because we saw that before, so we can imagine that this looks a
Yeah.
lot better than it does. Um,
Love the black background because it makes all those logos pop.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Can you run it again, Greg, so we can look at her timing?
Yeah, could use some better timing. Definitely.
Maybe just a few, maybe if the older logos stay on the stage just a hair longer, not much. It looks really good, Amelia.
Okay.
you know, I also wonder, I don't know if this would be possible, but because I don't know that each one of them had different text with them, but I almost wonder if each ad came up and if the text, if this word peacock said something different each time. So in other words, every time the icon changes, the text changes too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then are your ad photos in order of oldest to newest?
They are.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'd be really good to use the type that they used at the time.
Yeah, like it probably just say NBC, I would assume, right?
I
Or
love your logo. Did you make that, Amelia?
Well, technically I made it, but I I copied over something.
Oh, what? It looks great. Good job with the tools.
Thank you. It took a minute definitely to get the feathers lined up
Oh,
correctly.
they look so good.
Thank you.
yeah, it does look really good.
So my question I need help on is I think you can see around frame 31 in the file.
Okay.
So that's the little peacock body, and the intent is for the leaves. So the peacock body will be there at first, and then the leaves spread out.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm spreading the leaves out, I'm not sure if like the leaves should be directly behind it and extending over the peacock head before it goes out, or if at no point it should extend above it in the middle. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You don't know if you want the feather to shmeekaboo behind his head before
Yeah.
opening up. Okay. Yeah, that's a good. I don't know. What does a peacock look like with his tail closed? We should Google it.
I did look at one peacock video.
Uh-huh. Let me see.
Oh yeah, but their tails go in the back, so that's a good idea. They spread down in the back and then rise forward.
Let me see. I have to get my peacock on right now. I do. I have to Google the peacock in a minute.
Let me see. I'm gonna try and
I don't think if your peacock fans are visible that it's going to hurt your ad, but I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want it to look weird initially.
Right, right.
okay. I'm just gonna grab.
Plus, you had them smaller and grow in size as they fan out, like shrunken, or just not, I don't know, maybe just not visible until they start to fan.
Okay.
I'm not sure. What do you think, Greg?
Well, I think that I'm wondering where my little peacock feathers went. I wanted to show you something, but I got to get my little peacock feather happening here. I think I may have to create a new layer. Let's see. And then, or maybe it went in on frame one. Let's see what happens.
Peacocks are so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I always knew they were gorgeous, but now I know they're gorgeous.
Okay, so let's see if I create a blank keyframe here, and then I want to paste in the center. Okay, yeah, but I don't, okay, there it is. All right. So, okay, I'm just going to use this giant tail feather to demo a couple things, right? So first of all, you know, there's several different ways. You know, you have all of the sort of normal transitions you could use to make those tail feathers appear. So what are those? Well, there's movement. You could have them, you know, move into place from, you know, like they could all kind of fall in. Here, I'll show you some examples. Like if this, let's just pretend that this was the orange peacock feather right here. I guess I'll scale this down because it'll just make it easier to see. Theoretically, I'll scale it down. Come on, you piece of junk. Oh, I hate you and your whole family. Here we go. Okay, so you know you could one method would be you could take every peacock feather and you could like take it off the stage at the exact angle that it's going to go, and you could have all the peacock feathers come shooting in. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way. Another thing you could do is transparency. You could have each peacock feather fade in one right after the other.
As it rotates down and hits.
And the nice, like you could start with this yellow one and it could fade in, then this, then this, then this, then this. And the nice thing about that is that's probably the easiest transition you could do. Now another one, this one would be infinitely more difficult, but you could have them sort of appear, sort of rotate into appearance. So like, let's say that, you know, this was the first one that was going to appear, right? So what would happen is you would click on this this transform tool here, and you would have to click on the center point, which is this anchor point here, and you would have to drag that down to the bottom of the little feather here. And what that does is that gives you a rotation point, okay? So now when you rotate the object, it rotates around that point instead of the center where it was. So I click on this, and now if I rotate it, it's rotating around that point, right? So if I wanted to do an animation, if I stacked all the feathers on top of each other, I could have one appear, and then the next one, one could appear here, and then the next one could rotate up, and then the next one could rotate up, and the next one could rotate up, and the next one rotate up, right?
Mhm.
So
Or rotate down.
now the problem with this is that the way the feathers end up like this, you can see that they won't lend themselves to that because they don't all end up pointing right here. They're sort of staggered away from the center point at the bottom of the peacock.
Mhm.
So that would be more difficult to do. In fact, the easiest thing to do would be to make them all rotate out, like I said, and then fade that out and fade in the final logo. Do you know what I mean? Uh, so, that's a couple of different options. Now, the one last option that I'll tell you, and then if you guys have any ideas, we can talk about those too. You could scale. You could use a scale thing. And what you could do is, like, if I took this little, this guy right here, and I turn this into a symbol, so I'll go modify, convert to symbol. I could scale this thing down right here. I can, let's see, let me create a keyframe here. Okay, so I'm going to create a keyframe there, and I'm going to create a keyframe here. And then for this one right here, for the scale, I'm gonna scale this thing down until it's like basically non-existent, right? So scale it down. In fact, I could go over here and I could make it basically like 1 pixel, like that. Okay, so small that it's almost non-existent, right? And then by creating a classic tween here, what happens is the thing just goes from sort of non-existent to scaling up. You know what I mean? So that's another option. So we've got scale, we've got movement from off the screen onto the screen, we've got opacity, and then we have rotation. Those are just some ideas.
Amelia, I don't know if you want to do this. I know you wanted to rotate your feathers down and out, so you could make your feathers long enough to reach that rotation point that Greg's talking about, and that pink and purple one, keep them up and then kind of fold in all the other fans behind it. So like initially it's that, just the two, and maybe a schmeekaboo of the other ones, and then they start to rotate down. So it's not like they're non-exist, like you still see them behind the peacock head, but barely, and then as the movement starts, they fall in.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you did want to do that rotation thing, you could essentially create anything you want that works and that looks good. And like I said, when it's done rotating, you just kind of fade it out and fade the final logo in, and it just kind of takes the place of whatever you did. You know what I mean? And it's a super fun ad, and you got so much cool stuff to play with. Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine. Here's another idea, Amelia. Instead of having the peacock up the whole time, what if you use the dates down here? Like, what if it said, 1921, 1937, 1958, 2020.
On the side of the third, a 20 and a 20.
A 20 and a what?
I'm making stuff up.
So am I. We have that in common. So if it said, 1921, 1937, 1940, 2020, and then the peacock came out, and then it says, then the word peacock gets revealed, I was just looking for other things to be on the screen besides this peacock that would go with these different logos because they all already say NBC on them. So you can't really say NBC below them because who cares? That's not new information, you know. Or okay, here's another idea. Oh, okay, Amelia, here's one that would involve some homework, right? Which I know you love. What you could do is you could look up when each of these logos came out because I'm sure you have that information, and then you could find something significant that happened in the world that year. So it could say, you know, you could go to this first one. It could say Babe Ruth hits his 400th home run. You know, Marilyn Monroe hits the big screen. Mickey Mantle steals home and wins the series for the Dodgers. You know, NBC debuts Peacock. You know, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's a good idea too.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, and this, I don't know. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool. All right. So let me go back to the class website here. Email.kimco.com. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you guys a video, a very short video about a principle of animation, and then I have a little exercise that we can do. And this animation principle is about something called staging. And staging is essentially the idea that your ads are staged just like you would stage manage a play. So like if you were the director of a Shakespearean play, you know, you might have one person come out from the left side and say, "Oh, where is Horatio? I love him." And then, you know, the girl might come out, or the boy might come out from the other side and say, "Oh, where is Marion? I love her." And then the giant god might come down from the beginning and say, "I will bring these two together." And then the two come together, whatever. And so what it is it's a series of actions that follow logically one after the other. And you want to do your ads like that. You know, you want them, like we talked about how Livia's ad was, you know, you could almost apply a math to it. 1 + 1 = 2. And so you want the series of actions that happen in your ad to make logical sense, and you want them to happen in a logical order, one right after the other. And that could be considered staging. So let's watch this little video, and then we can talk about the exercise.
All you need to launch a code escape route. Like you can.
It's important to know when to be close up and when to be far away.
Sorry, it didn't start right at the beginning, so let me scoot back here. Okay.
This video is based on the 12 principles of animation as described by Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. So the third principle of animation is called staging. Staging is the presentation of any idea so that it is completely and unmistakably clear. This is a very broad principle because it covers so many areas of animation. It can apply to acting, timing, camera angle and position, and setting. So when you're animating, you want to be in full control of where the audience is looking. You're essentially saying, "Look at this, now look at this, and now look at this." This control is achieved through staging. All of the elements of the scene work together to move the viewer's eyes around the screen. Here's an example of bad staging. The characters are competing for stage presence, so the viewer doesn't know which one to look at. The camera has a lot to do with this. It's important to know when to be close up and when to be far away. Far away is good for big actions, while close up is good for expressions. Don't have the main action be off to the side. It should be either in the center of the screen or in one of the thirds of the screen. If they're facing to the side, there should be more empty space in the direction that they're facing, unless someone's sneaking up behind them, in which case they would no longer be the main character of the shot. The main action of the scene should be very clear and simple. It can't be upstaged by other things that are going on. This takes attention away from the main point. It should also have proper timing. Let one action finish before the other person starts their action, instead of overlapping them. Sometimes you need to insert pauses if there's something on screen that needs to be processed by the viewer before moving on. Sometimes if there's any text on the screen, you should keep it on screen for as long as it takes to read it out loud 3 times. But it's not just about controlling the viewer's eyes, it's also about conveying ideas. If a character is sad, for example, you want to make sure that the viewer knows that and feels that. If someone's house is supposed to be very poor and decrepit, go over the top to make sure that they get it, and don't have any objects that detract from that purpose. Let's take this scene and give it the staging treatment. This fat guy is eating pizza. The idea that we want to convey is that he is a severe overeater. So let's set the stage more. Let's give him more pizza and put piles of pizza boxes behind him and stains on his shirt. Let's move the camera down below him to make him look bigger. And let's change his acting so that his weight actually gets in the way of his eating, so he can't even reach for the soda without falling over. Now let's make sure to time it right so he notices the soda and then reaches for it. Now the idea is very clear. So that's all I have for staging. The next principle is called straight ahead and pose to pose. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay. All right. So staging, the idea that you stage your animations or advertisements so that one thing happens after another in a logical way, right? So this is the exercise that I wanted to have you guys do today. There's a file here which you can download, and it's an Adobe Illustrator file. And what it is, it's this file right here. It looked a lot better a few minutes ago before I started hacking it apart. This is what it looks like when you first open it up. But basically, it's just a vector, a free vector file that has a bunch of circus elements in it, right? And you can, you can delete the ones that you don't want, and you can move certain ones out of the way or something like that. But what I would like you guys to do is maybe copy and paste some of these elements into Adobe Animate and make a little animation that demonstrates staging, okay? So in other words, have one thing happen after another. For example, you could have these balloons come floating in, and then you could have a rabbit pop out of the hat, but they wouldn't both happen at the same time. There would be one, and there would be the second. In fact, if you really wanted to do a good job with staging, and we're using that example of the balloons and the rabbit, you might have the balloons come in from the left-hand side and float across the stage, and then when they get here to the rabbit, they kind of disappear, and then the rabbit starts moving. Maybe it comes out of the hat. So one movement is logically leading to the other, right? Or you could have this clown, and you could separate these little balls as separate units. You could take these little balls here and put them on top of his head, and you could have them shoot off of his head one at a time in different directions. Or you could take this cannon here, and of course you'd have to group all this together so that it was one thing. So I'm just going to get rid of some elements here. But if you draw a marquee around all this and you group that together, you could have the cannon kind of roll out on the stage, and then you could have the cannonball, you could have be behind the cannon, and you could just kind of have it shoot out, right? And you could connect these things together. You can have the cannonball could shoot out a ball that rolls across the stage, or the clown could have ice cream cones for his hat. You can do whatever you want. But I'll just show you one example. So let me grab this these elements here, and like I said, you can just copy these straight from Illustrator and then paste them right into Adobe Animate. And I already started a file with that somewhere. Let me see. I think it's this first one. Yeah. So so I just pasted these guys in here, right? And let me get rid of these guys real quick. I'm gonna paste in my new ones, right? And notice that when you paste these in, they just come in as these sort of graphics, right? So what you can do is you can convert them into symbols and do animations with them. So the first thing I might do is scale this down so that it's a reasonable size, and I might turn it into a symbol. So modify, convert to symbol, and we'll call this cannon. Now I can take this one and I can make sure it's on its own layer here, right? And I can name that layer cannon. And I can take the cannonball and I can cut that and put that on its own new layer, and I could call it cannonball, and I can paste it back in. I can shrink it down, and then I can convert that into a symbol as well. Oh, that one didn't look like it converted to a symbol. Let's see. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. I don't know why I don't see the little blue thing around it, but anyway. So now I've got these on two different layers, and so just as a simple example of this, um, I can animate this cannon so that it comes out on screen. So let's say I want it to take 2 seconds to come out on screen. So I insert a keyframe here, and then at that point I move it out on the screen, and then I right click in this gray area and create a classic tween. And so now we've got, over 2 seconds the cannon rolls out. What would be optimal is if I could make that little wheel turn as well, and that would be a separate animation, right? But so now the cannons come out on the screen, right? The next thing I want to do is take the cannonball and maybe move it down to this location so that it is in the same place. Let's see, where is my cannonball? Is it this thing here? Yeah, how come it's not? Oh, this is the cannonball that I want, I think. No, that's the cannon. All right, fine. I'll just steal this cannonball right here. This one called 1. There we go. So I can take this one and I can put it behind the cannon, and I can say, okay, the cannon comes out on the stage, and then the cannonball is behind it right now, and now the cannonball gets shot out of the cannon. So I can say, okay, I want that to take 2 seconds. So I can insert a keyframe down here. Now you'll notice that the cannon doesn't stay that long, so I have to go back to my cannon layer and insert a keyframe so that the cannon stays on the stage after it rolls out. So it takes 2 seconds to roll out, and then for the next 2 seconds it just stays on the stage. Meanwhile, I don't need all these frames here, so I'm going to highlight all those and remove them or clear them. Let's see. Clear keyframe. Okay. And then I can move my cannonball so that it only starts right here once the cannon's out on the stage. Okay, so now I got my cannonball there behind the cannon, and now I can say, that I want it to move to a new location. So I can grab it. I just got to move it out from behind the cannonball so I can grab it a little easier. And I can put it in its new location. And then I can create a classic tween here, right? And now we have the cannon come out on the stage, and then it shoots the ball, right? And then, so in other words, it's like each action sort of is responsible or some way is a precedent for the action that follows. So the cannon comes out, and then it shoots a cannonball, or the clown comes out and then balls shoot off of his head or whatever. So, play with this, have fun. You don't have to do anything difficult. It could just be a ball going across the screen, or balloons floating through the air or whatever. But see if you can make something where you apply that principle of staging where one thing happens after another, right? Now, when I look at this one, I can see that my cannonball is too big. You can see it's kind of sneaking out from behind there. So in that case, what I want to do is go to the original and scale it down, right? And then, of course, I want to go to my the one that ends up here and scale that down a little bit as well so that it doesn't look too unusual. So now we have, this. Right, and I could still improve that. Like I said, if I separate the wheel and make it rotate, it would be a more impressive animation. Okay, so why don't you guys take some time, download that Illustrator file, copy and paste elements of it into Adobe Animate, and see if you can create some kind of animation where one thing happens after another, like staging.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to show us how to add a motion preset?
Yeah, sure. So let's say that this cannonball here, let's say we want it to do something different. So let me see what my motion presets are. So your motion presets are on this menu right here. And what you can do is you can preview them by looking at the different choices here. I want to see if there's one where that I can use on my cannonball. Okay, there's let's see. Okay. Well, there's. I guess I could do the bounce one. What's a small bounce? Okay, let's try the small bounce. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. So you just kind of have to apply it or whatever. So we click on this ball here. I have the cannon shoot out, and then I don't know. I can try applying the small bounce right here. So what you do is you simply click on the keyframe like that, and you click on the motion tween or the preset, and you hit apply. Now you can see what happened here. Sometimes it applies the motion preset before the animation and sometimes after. In this case, it applied it after. And this works really well in this case because what it's going to do is it's going to shoot the ball out and then it's going to make the ball bounce, right? Now, all I have to do to make this look like a complete animation is grab my cannon and drag it down all the way to the end of the animation so that it stays on the screen the whole time. And then we get this kind of a thing.
You gotta extend that bottom layer, the one that has it fly out. Or did I miss it? I think I missed it.
You missed how we made it fly out?
No, when you played it, I didn't see it fly out. It just kind of showed up and then bounced. I probably missed it.
No, you didn't miss it. It
Just before it glided out on a motion, like on a path, and then bounced. It's something with that layer there. I don't know.
Oh, I know what happened. The ball, let's see if I can make this make a little more sense. Let me go back a little. Oh, yeah, I think what happened, Latisse, is it looks like it created its own new crazy layer.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, that was weird. Like if we just do this.
What if you added on that layer that the ball fly out comes on? Because it would, maybe I'm messing it up. Because I can't see. You had it on the cannon layer. I don't know what happened.
Well, let me try it again. I think what happened was it made its own layer and it moved this thing up to that layer and then destroyed this animation. Hey, I've got a solution though.
Okay.
What if we duplicate this layer, right?
Okay, so that if it recreates, it's still there.
Yeah, right, exactly. So now we go apply. Yeah, so now we should have both. Yeah.
Yay.
So good call. You saw that. I didn't even notice that. So it shoots that out and then then it gets bigger and
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing about these motion presets is they have a mind of their own. You know, they just are going to do whatever they're going to do. You can adjust them a little bit, but you know, play around with this. Just have fun. You're at the circus, right? And I'll give you guys some time right now, and then I'll check back with you later in the period, and we'll see how you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Greg,
Yeah.
we are trying to download the circus files, and it says we need access.
Okay. So let me think for a second. Let's see. Circus.ai, and it's in my Google Drive. And let's see. Which Google Drive is that anyway? All right, let me see if I can find that file for you guys. Drive. Okay, circus.ai. Okay, it's not in whatever the heck this drive this one is. So maybe it's in this drive. Okay, circus.ai. Well, there it is right there. So find it for me though. Oh, come on, you bastard thing. You're right there in my face. So it says I opened today. So can I change the sharing on this? Oh, let's get the shareable link. That's an easy way to do it. Okay, copy link. Got it. Copy this link. Let's go to the class website. Let's edit this. Use circus files you download here. And then update this. Okay, Amelia, why don't you refresh that web page and see if that works.
I'm still not getting it for some reason.
Me neither. Not either.
Let's see. Well, let me see what my other options are. Back to the drive.
Can you just put the full URL right on your website?
Let's see. What the hell? Oh, Pima Community College. What about anyone with the link? My bad. Sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, let me put the full URL there and we'll see if we have better luck. Okay, edit.
Cool, I got it.
You already in? Okay. It probably, as soon as you changed it, it probably worked.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm in too. I got it.
Okay, cool. Well, then I don't have to do this.
Thank you. Good catch, Amelia. Wait a minute. How do I download it though?
What, it doesn't let you download it?
Hold on. Not on mine.
Oh, well, what about
Here it
the...
is. Just kidding. Just kidding. Gotcha. I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Sweet.